Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Colleen. I am pleased that you're here with me today. Today I am going to make a dish that I have not seen many people in Canada make myself and that I wasn't introduced to until I had TV for certain sure, and that is a Tater Tot Casserole. Now it's something that might be more difficult for us to get in a small community because tater tots aren't available at both of our grocery stores, only one and only one brand. So I had to wait till they came into stock again in the grocery store before I could make this video for you. So it's taken a little while. Anyway, I'm going to gather up the ingredients. This is a simple dish. It requires canned soup that you might already have in your pantry. It requires ground beef, onion, basic things. So I'm going to gather it up. We'll get started cooking, and then we'll chat along the way. So I'll be right back after this. Now we'll just get started browning off the meat. I've got just about 2 pounds of ground beef. You could use ground turkey or chicken in this recipe as well, or make it half pork, half beef, whatever you like. And I'm just going to get these opened up. And I've been handling things, so I'm not going to handle the meat till I wash my hands. There, feel a little better about that now. So into this frying pan, I've brought out the electric frying pan today, and into there we're going to just crumble up this meat. Now this makes a 9 by 13 casserole dish that's pretty meat heavy, and as simple as can be. I hope that you're all well. This has been the craziest winter. I am filming this today on, I think it's the 22nd of February today. And I just had to drive my niece to basketball, and I'm astounded at how little snow we actually have. It's only in the hollows, you know, the spots where it piles up when you blow the snow into a pile to get it off your driveway. It's only there. I'm just going to break this meat up a little bit and get it browning, because the dish is in the oven for 40 minutes, but so it doesn't matter that it's not cooked entirely all the way through, but I do think you want it to be cooked most of the way through for sure. Now we're going to need an onion to go in there, and I don't mind that this is a big onion. Just going to move. I think there's a lot of noise going on with the frying, so I'll try and quiet my board a little bit here. At some point in the not too distant future, I'm going to get a new camera and a new setup here, and then hopefully you'll be able to hear me over the frying. Although really nobody's really complained about it too much. Just 1 or 2 people have said anything about it. There we go. Now I'm just going to chop this up, and I don't mind if it has, it's not perfectly diced, you know. I don't want huge pieces, but it definitely doesn't need to be perfectly diced. And so I'll just give it the old country chop here. And you know, this is pretty big. I think I'm only going to need half of it. I'm trying to look down at my board so I don't make you all nervous that I might cut my fingers off. There we go. I'm going to give this a stir. Then I'm going to add the onions to it because it's probably a third of the way cooked. In goes the onions. And I'm going to get rid of this. Not too far away though. I'm going to need it again. I'm going to get rid of this. Just get some things out of the way so I can bring some more things over. Probably heard that quiet down. As soon as I put the onions in, it got quieter because I was adding something cold to it. Whoops, I'm flinging stuff all over the kitchen here. I better slow down a little bit. I honestly like to try and cook in real time so that you guys know that anything that I make in a video, pretty much you can do in the time that it takes to view the video. I'm going to bring this back over now because one of the things I wasn't able to get at the grocery store were beans that were frozen in a bag that were cut into pieces. All I could get was beans that were frozen whole. And for this dish, I like it better if they're more bite-sized. So I am just going to chop up some of these beans. I've left the bag on the counter to thaw a bit because they were frozen quite hard. And there's one bunch. I think we need another handful at least. There we go. I'm sure that's going to be enough. Besides, I think there's enough left in there for a meal. And they're on the end of still frozen, so that's good news. So so this meal will take you right back probably in time, especially my friends from the United States, because I've done a little research on this dish and it seems like it comes out of the Midwest, and it was probably come out about the time that mums started to leave the home to work, and they still needed to be able to put meals on when they got home and satisfy a crowd of people, and this definitely fit the bill. It wasn't fancy at all, and it would definitely do what they had anticipated it would. Now let's stir this up again. Probably, and this is a tip for beginner cooks. At first, when you put the meat into the pan, it's very loud, but the meat will cool down the pan and it gets quieter. And when the meat is starting to get cooked through, it's not releasing as much juice anymore, so it starts to get noisy again. And that will give you an indicator that you're getting close to being cooked, or that your meat is close to a point where it's not giving up any more moisture. Now, depending on what you're doing with it, that could be a good thing. If you want your hamburger to be really like dry and crumbly, you want to cook it until, you can hear it right now, it's quite loud, because it's cooking off the last little bit of moisture in the pan. And then it'll get quiet again when the moisture is pretty much cooked off. Well, I don't know if that helped out a lot, but I'm going to just put in about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, you could totally use fresh garlic in this dish if you wanted, but we are trying to stick with the traditional way that the Tater Tot Casserole is intended. Now, I'm just going to reach for some more ingredients and we'll be ready to assemble this in no time. Now I'm pretty happy with this. There's a little tiny bit of moisture left in the pan, but not much, so I'm going to unplug it. I'll lay that down there. And I'm going to bring over this 9 by 13 pan, and I am going to I'm going to pour or dump all of this hamburger and its juice right into the pan like that. Now, if you're concerned at all about it sticking, it won't likely stick on the bottom. It may up the sides. So you could add maybe a little bit of shortening or butter around the outside edge of it. But there's probably enough fat in the meat and the juice that's in the meat to stop it from sticking to the bottom. Oh my, it got so quiet. So, the next thing we need, well, we don't need this, but I'm going to put in about a cup of cheese. And I'm just finishing off this bag. It's a triple cheddar. You could use whatever you happen to have on hand. This has been in my fridge a while, so I know it's drying out and it's time to get it used up. There we go. Now, I have cream of mushroom soup. You could do this in any kind that you wanted. It would work with cream of chicken or cream of celery or one of each, but I'm going to stick to the cream of mushroom. We do like mushrooms in our house, so we're okay with that. And I'm going to dump this into this bowl. I think I need a spoon, and maybe I need also a whisk. Wow, I feel like I'm speeding. Am I going too fast? Oh, anyway, you can see there's not a lot of ingredients in this. It is a pretty quick dish to come together, and it'll feed a good crowd. So if you've got the family coming over and you need something quick, this would certainly work. And I'm going to add about 1/3 of a cup, a little better than 1/3 of a cup of milk to this. Now, you could leave the milk out too. I just find it's easier to whisk it to make it pourable if you've got the milk in there. And so I'm just going to bring it together. It doesn't have to be perfect by a long shot. This is a very forgiving dish as well. And I'm going to put it over here, and that way if it sloshes, it'll at least go into the pan, I hope, and not all over the lens of the camera. Now, I'm going to spread this about and get it to the edges if I can. Someone also asked, how come I don't use a spatula to get the last little bit out of everything? And I do that because I've had a number of people say, can't you speed the videos up? And if I took the time to clean out every container, I know there would be complaints about that. So I'm trying as much as I can to please as many as I can. So trust me when I say I scrape everything out on a normal basis. It's just for videos I speed things up because I want you to have confidence as you cook too. Okay, now my green beans. I probably should measure these to give you an idea how many there are. So, measuring cup. I think there's probably 3 cups. Well, that's 2. And this might even be too much. I don't use canned beans for this because, you know, canned beans are kind of mushy to start with. And yeah, this is 3 cups. And I don't entirely care for that. So I'm more inclined to have the frozen beans. I think they're just better. Okay, I've got that out of the way. Now, last but not least is the tater tots. Now, as I said, this is the only brand that I can get in my local store. Although one of the stores is doing a lot of renovations right now and bringing in lots more products. So maybe we'll be able to get a choice. Now you could take the time and line these all up like little soldiers along your dish. And many people do that. Or you can just spread them out. And that gives them enough room maybe to cover the top. Oh yeah. We'll cover it up good. There's not too many of them that are overlapped too much. If you really like tater tots, you could add a second bag or another bag, half a bag, or something along that line. And I think that would work really well. Now, I didn't add any salt to this because the tomato or the mushroom soup tends to be a little on the salty side. And I didn't, oh yes, I did get the one with 40% less salt. I thought I didn't. Good for me. So we may have to add a little bit of salt to it when it goes onto our plate. Other than that, this is ready for the oven. So I'm going to pop it into the oven. I've preheated that to 400 degrees. And I'm going to let this cook for 40 minutes on the higher of the racks. Not right up against the top of the oven, but you know, if you've got 3 racks in your oven, pick the one that's closest to the top. And because the heat reflects off the top of the oven and it'll brown the these little tots quicker. And that's what we're after. We want crispy tots on the top of all this. Okay, folks, I'm going to get this into the oven and I will be back when it's all cooked up and we're ready to eat. Well, what do you think? As you can see, it's bubbling like mad. And I am going to set it down here and I'm going to leave it for the next 15 minutes because it needs time to set up. I left it in an extra maybe 5 minutes just because I wanted to see it bubbling here in the center, not just around the outside. But the tater tots are crispy and golden brown, and I will bring you back when it's cooled down and I can cut into it so you can see what it looks like on the inside. Well, it is dinner time and we're all hungry, and this is what's going to be for dinner tonight at our house. And you saw how quick it went together. It kind of looks like a hot mess when it comes out. But let me tell you what, it is good old-fashioned comfort food. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this recipe and that you'll give it a try. It's not going to win any awards for style, but it's certainly going to fill up your tummies. And you can see this is a good serving, and I've used 1/6 of the pan, and that's probably more than I'll eat. So it'll feed a crowd for sure. Anyway, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, that you'll consider subscribing if you haven't already. Give this video a like. I love to read your comments, so please send me comments if you've got a moment. And until next time, folks, I will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.